Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing. Yesterday I did a video about pH neutral soaps. What do they actually do? How effective are they? Well, since I've been talking about how to strip waxes and sealants off of cars pH neutral soap, a lot of people have been sending me links to a young man on YouTube who I guess decided to see if Dawn soap will actually strip waxes and sealants. I don't know the young man. I didn't even know his channel existed because a lot of people disputed me and said, Scott, alkaline cleaners, Dawn especially, will not strip waxes off cars. Well, I decided to look at the video and watch it. And I honor the young man. He has a very nice channel. He reviews all sorts of waxes and sealants. Highly intelligent young man. I honor his channel. He's doing a great service for most of us that might be interested in some products. What I'm about to say is not a judgment of the boy. It's not a judgment of him as an individual, but I will judge his knowledge. Here's the deal, folks. Oh, goodness gracious, I just got myself soaking wet by hitting the nozzle. Here's the deal, folks. I do paint correction, right? I come up to a customer's home and I look at the car and I go, okay, this is a one-step moment. This is a two-step moment. The very next question I'm going to ask them is, when was the last time you waxed or put a paint sealant on your car? Well, most people will probably tell me, I've never put a wax or sealant on it, or maybe I did it 2 or 3 months ago. Why is that important to me? Well, the video that a lot of people sent me trying to disprove the fact that Dawn will actually strip off waxes or sealant was a young man who applied a high quality sealant on a car 24 hours before his test. What he did was applied a high quality sealant on the paint 24 hours before. 24 hours later, he makes a video of him using Dawn soap in water. And then he washed the panel once. He rinsed it off. He saw that the panel was still incredibly hydrophobic. He saw that the Dawn soap didn't do anything to the wax or sealant. Then what he decided to do, the panel was just wet from rinsing it. He took Dawn straight without putting it in a bucket of water and spilled it onto the surface of the paint and then rubbed it into the paint. And he said that didn't remove the waxes or sealants. Well, that man is correct to some extent, but he's missing a very important fact. Whenever most of you guys are buying, some of you guys are buying chemical guys or Adams that make these strip washes for your cleaning process to remove waxes and sealants. If you read the back of those bottles will tell you that it will strip old waxes. That's very important, because if I put a wax on this car or paint sealant yesterday, 24 hours ago, and I go to use Dawn soap to remove it off the paint, no, it will not remove it all in one shot. I will have to wash the car several times with Dawn under that scenario, because the paint sealant is so fresh, it's so new. The integrity of it is pretty much intact. It hasn't been sitting on the surface of the paint for a long time. So as a professional detailer, when I come up to somebody's home and they told me that 2 or 3 months ago they applied a wax or a sealant, there might be some of it still left on the panel, I promise you, using Dawn soap in water, I will get it off the panel pretty much on the first wash. I may take my paint prep after that, my Duplicolor paint prep, to assure myself I've gotten the wax or sealant off the paint, and I can do it. But if it's a car that was just waxed within 24 hours ago, the answer is no. Using a alkaline-based cleaner like Dawn is going to take several washes before it does it, but I promise you it will eventually remove it from the paint, the wax or sealant from the paint. You may not get it in the first try, the second try, the third try. You're going to have to wash it a couple of times. But I can promise you, if I wash the car 10 times with this, Dawn, or I wash the car 10 times with this, guess what? This is going to remove the wax or sealant depending on how old the sealant is on the car. That's an important part of the equation. Now, I want to talk about something. Distilled water. This is distilled water. What is its pH rating? I don't know. Most people are going to tell me the pH rating of distilled water is neutral. It's 7. Well, to some extent that is absolutely true until I open up this cap and I get carbon dioxide air that gets into the water. It can change the pH scale. Not drastically, but it will. There's also something else you need to remember. As a professional detailer, I know these things and I know these facts. Can I make distilled water more acid-based, move it from the neutral scale to an acid base or to an alkaline base? The answer is yes, and it takes a very simple process to do it. I can take any water, distilled water, whatever the case may be, and I can get it hot. When I get it hot, when I raise its temperature, it now becomes more acidic than neutral. Also a very, very key point. If that young man in the video, he used cold water, he put his Dawn soap in the cold water, he took his wash mitt and washed the car with a sealant that was only on the car for 24 hours. No, it won't do it right away, but I promise you he had begun to degrade the wax or sealant on the car, but he didn't remove it all. But if he had used hot water with Dawn, he might have gotten it much quicker than using cold water. Here's an interesting point. If we look at Dawn soap, right on the side of this bottle, it tells us, for general purpose cleaning, make a solution of 1 teaspoon of Dawn to 2.5 gallons of water, and it will say to you, use hot water. Why do they do this? Well, Dawn, this happens to be the concentrated formula. This mixed in cold water is about 9 on a pH scale. Regular Dawn is about 7.4 on the pH scale. If we look at the pH scale, if we start at 0 and we start at 7 and we go to 8. 8 is 10 times more powerful than 7. If we go to 9, it's 20 times more powerful than 7. Again, we have to know how long the wax and sealant has been on the car. That's a crucial point, a point in all of this, how quickly you can remove it. But you can actually manipulate Dawn, any type of, because this actually has ethanol in it. Ethanol is typically a pH level of 7. It's kind of, it's a neutral molecule until when? Until it's put in water. Now you can change whether or not it's more alkaline based or acid based depending on the temperature of the water. That's an important fact to know. That can become very crucial in your auto detailing business. With your knowledge, I can actually take something like Dawn and put it in hot water and tilt it towards the acid side of the scale, because here's the truth. Yes, alkaline cleaners will remove waxes and sealants off of a paint, but acid-based cleaners will do it much faster. I am not recommending that you put Meguiar's wheel brightener into a bucket of hot water and go wash your car. That wouldn't be necessary. That would be overly aggressive. It wouldn't be safe on the paint, especially around the glass. That's not what we want to do, but we want to play with the pH scale so that we can get it where it needs to be. So that was basically what I wanted to talk about. Will Dawn soap actually strip waxes and sealants? Absolutely. If it's 24 hours old that's on the car, you're going to have to wash it several times with it. But an alkaline cleaner will eventually remove all waxes and sealant. If that young man in the video decided to use, if he washed it once or twice and said, look, there's no degrading of the sealant, and he decided, I think I'll use Dawn all the time to wash my car because I've proved the fact that it doesn't remove the wax or sealant. I promise you, if he washed his car every week with Dawn, whether in warm water or cold water, he probably would have to wash his car 5, 6, 7 times, and he will completely remove that wax within those couple of weeks versus using a pH neutral soap. That's just a fact. But yes, if you have an acid-based cleaner, you'll remove waxes and sealants quick. You can do it with alkaline cleaners. It will just take a little bit longer, depending on how long the wax and sealant has been on the car. If it's a fresh layer of wax and sealant, it's going to take a couple of washes to be able to do it. So I just wanted to talk to you about the pH scale. Again, water, distilled water, it's a 7 typically, or for this particular purpose, most of us are going to say it's a 7. Well, if I get it hot, I'm now pushing it towards the acid side of the scale, which could be very crucial, very crucial for you guys to understand. Yes, hot water also helps emulsify and break down grease and grime on the panel in itself. Again, because it's hot, that will help you. The temperature helps you break down certain things, but you're also making the water acidic. That's also going to help you be able to take stuff off the panel. Guys that do tractor trailer cleaning, I do it as well. They do industrial cleaning. You'll see them mix a lot of chemicals in a hot power washer that's spraying hot water onto the car, onto the piece of equipment. They're playing with the pH scale depending on the chemical they're using in the car. It's really important to understand the pH scale, and to say Dawn doesn't strip waxes or sealant from 1 or 2 washes, that's really very misleading. That could lead people to believe I'll just use this all the time. Well, I promise you, if you use it all the time, over the next couple of weeks, and you just waxed your car or put a paint sealant on it, you will eventually strip it. You may not do it the first time, but you'll probably do it around the 5th or 6th time. You'll start to seriously see the degrade of the wax and sealant over a period of time. That's why we use a pH neutral soap. But also be careful. If you're using water and you get it hot, you're changing its pH scale. You're making it more on the acidic side. That's why typically when we wash cars, most car wash soap people are going to tell you, don't wash your car in the sun. Make sure the panel's cool to the touch. Rinse the car off with what? Water, cold water from your tap. Mix up your 4 or 5 gallons of water, which would typically be what? Tap water, cold, and then put your pH neutral soap in it so everything can be consistent during the washing process. Just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate people sending me links to that young man's video. I love him. I think I never knew he existed. I typically don't watch other people's YouTube channels, but the boy does a great job, or the young man does a great job, a great service of, reviewing all these waxes and sealants on his channel. But it's very misleading when he said Dawn doesn't strip waxes and sealants, and now you've got all these people taking this false information and running with it and thinking that's just true. Well, the young man just didn't have all the knowledge. He doesn't understand maybe the pH scale and how it takes a little bit of time to remove a fresh wax and sealant off a car. Just wanted to share that with you. I appreciate all of you. Love you. We'll talk to you next time.